In this segment, we explore the facial action coding system, also known as FACS, by considering the fundamental behavioral units which are premised upon identifying the major muscles of the face. We then briefly discuss how this approach is applied manually before providing information regarding training and certification in this tool. The facial action coding system was developed by Paul Ekman and his colleague Wallace Friesen, building from previous scholars, including Swedish anatomist Carl Hermann Hjortzö. The focus with this approach is upon scoring muscular actions, not the entire display themselves. So this is a highly involved process, with 44 action units considering changes in facial behavior, and then another 12 action descriptors for changes in where the eyes and head are oriented. Certification in FACS means upward of 100 hours of training and practice, as well as scoring over 70% on a FACS examination. Because the system is so involved, there were only around 4,000 certified FACS coders when I took the test in 2010, which was 2,000 more than the year 2000. Political scientists tend not to use this approach, although it is used extensively in learning and comprehension, animation, game development, human resource management, and marketing. Fortunately, or not, depending on your perspective, automatic facial expression analysis programs, including off-the-shelf programs FaceRater and Affectiva, allow for greater access and ease of use in research. This slide gives you the basics of how many action units and action descriptors there are. Over the next few slides, we will go through the basic muscles and action units that are connected with them. The image here is of different primates' eyes and answers the ultimate phylogenetic question of sociality being connected with greater contrast between the eye sclera and the iris to communicate social intent. The orbicularis oculi muscle controls the orifice of the eye, with movements that can be seen in the upper eyelid being pulled open with AU5, the lower eyelid being tightened in AU7, and the muscle surrounding the eye being tightened with AU6. AUs 5 and 7 are relatively easy to do on command, so are considered versatile by being under conscious control. On the other hand, the AU6 is more difficult to do and is considered reliable because it is connected with physiological response. The frontalis muscle controls the forehead, with the eyebrows being lifted by this muscle. Contracting both the inner eyebrow, AU1, frontalis medialis, and the outer eyebrow, AU2, frontalis lateralis, at the same time is easy. So this is a more versatile movement. But doing each of these muscles on their own is hard and is thus more reliable as an indicator of emotional states. Finally, the corrugator muscle, the AU4, pulls the eyebrows together and downward slightly towards the nose. On its own, it is a versatile movement. However, when combined with AU1, a pulling of the eyebrows together and upwards, this movement, which leaves an upside-down horseshoe on the forehead, is a reliable signal of sadness and distress. When we start looking at the lower face, we see more control over the muscles. For example, the levator labii muscle, AU9, is involved with wrinkling the nose, or pulling the lip up to expose the teeth in AU10, and are both relatively easy for an individual to do on command. Likewise, the AU17, in which the chin is raised with the lips being pushed up and out in a pout, is another versatile muscle movement. On the other hand, the depressor anguli oris, the AU15, which pulls the lip corners down and lengthens the face, is reliable by being extremely hard to do on command and is involved with feelings of sadness. Likewise, the AU16, in which the lower lip is pulled downward by the depressor labii inferioris, is considered reliable. With the mouth patch, in which lips and the white of the teeth are affected by muscular movement with the pulling of the lips horizontally, we see reliable facial behavior with the buccinator, the AU14, tightening and dimpling the lip corners, whereas AU20's risorius muscle stretches the lip and broadens the face. Because humans have so much control over the muscle around the mouth, the orbicularis oris, due to their speaking, eating, and breathing, all of the movements associated with these actions Whether the lips are puckered, funneled, tightened, pressed, parted, dropped, or stretched, are considered versatile movements. The zygomatic major is perhaps one of the most versatile of muscles, being present in and under control of most all humans. Referred to as AU12, this muscle pulls lip corners up and at an angle. As we will see in the research I've carried out, it is the defining element of smiles, with variations occurring in combination with other action units. When coding facial behavior, the manual process can be tedious and drawn out. However, it provides great insights into not just what the individual whose face is being coded, but also how to systematically apply the scientific method in a process that is rigorous. The steps are, first, initial scoring using a first impression without analytic parentheses. Second, there is an omission check, which involves looking at the back of the score sheet to see, did I miss something? Third, then you reorganize your scoring based upon whether or not you missed something. Fourth, there is a reference check where you study and consider subtle differences between the action units and potential combination effects with other action units. And finally, there is revised scoring. When carrying out fax coding, budgeting time and money is important. As of 2010, the cost of fax coding was $22 per hour, and it does take time to code manually. It takes me 15 to 20 minutes to code 5 to 10 seconds of video. In other words, it's about a 100-to-1 ratio. The fax manual itself is about 527 pages long and costs currently around $350. This manual is over 20 years old, and there is a new edition being worked on, although I don't know when it will be coming out. Training by the expert Erica Rosenberg, who is the expert in fax training, varies based upon how early you register and whether you are a student or a faculty member, a professional, or another form of non-student. Due to COVID, she is not currently teaching the class in person on a 5-day workshop, but is instead teaching online. This provides greater flexibility and the opportunity to interact with a range of scholars from around the world. There is also training to utilize automatic coding, but that is in its infancy, so facial expression analysis coding might be changing in the near future.